The 93rd anniversary parade in Beijing is now over, but videos and photos showing hints of power struggles inside Zhongnanhai are still circulating overseas, sparking outside interpretations. One photo, shared by the late Premier Li Keqiang's Peking University classmate Jingzhou Tao, shows a child wiping away tears on a TV screen image of former Premier Wen Jiabao. On September 3rd, the Chinese Communist Party held a large-scale military parade. One highlight was the appearance of retired party elders at Tiananmen. Among them were Li Ruihuan, Wen Jiabao, and 13 others. Notably, former General Secretary Hu Jintao was absent. Wen Jiabao, long rumored to have been a behind-the-scenes player in Chinese politics, drew particular attention. A photo that seemed to show him openly weeping at the event quickly spread on social media. People asked why were Wen Jiabao's eyes filled with tears. Overseas commentator Cai Shen-kun remarked, "This clear-headed old man is crying. He was the one who helped Xi Jinping rise to power, and now he must be reflecting on today's outcome."
是的，这些年我多次谈到政治体制改革。
Wen Jiabao himself once made a remarkably accurate prediction. At his final press conference in March 2012 before stepping down, he warned that reforms had reached a critical stage. Without success in political reform, economic reforms could not go all the way. Achievements already made could be lost, and tragedies like the Cultural Revolution could happen again. Back then, with Wen Jiabao's support, Hu Jintao removed Bo Xilai, a Maoist figure pushing for a return to Cultural Revolution-style politics. But few could have predicted that the man who succeeded him that autumn, Xi Jinping, would 10 years later begin reviving the Cultural Revolution himself. Many people online have compared Wen Jiabao's apparent tears with the moment Hu Jintao was suddenly escorted out during the 20th Party Congress. They see both as symbols of the absurdity and coldness at the top of the Communist Party. During the Hu and Wen era, China was relatively more open, speech was looser, and Wen Jiabao even met petitioners in person. But Xi Jinping has completely reversed course. The repression at home is clear, even in this military parade. Every major parade in China comes with heavy stability maintenance. This time, the measures were harsher than ever. In Beijing, authorities carried out sweeping crackdowns on dissidents and rights lawyers. Many activists were restricted from traveling or forcibly sent away on so-called vacations. To prevent possible snipers from hiding in trees, the government has even installed metal spikes on every tree. A foreigner who tried filming military vehicles on the roadside was blocked by two men in black, who also recorded him. On September 3rd, the parade was hosted on Tiananmen. State media and social platforms were filled with orchestrated patriotic fervor. But in Anhui, a man posted in a WeChat group saying, "What age are we in, still doing this nonsense?" He was arrested within 3 hours and given 10 days of detention. In Hubei, another man was also detained for 10 days on charges of picking quarrels, after he made critical remarks about the parade on WeChat. Police in Keqiang publicly announced the case the very next day. In countries with free speech, this would be unthinkable. People familiar with the situation say group chats in China are under tight surveillance. Many people no longer dare criticize the government there. The opinion the Anhui man expressed about the parade is actually how most ordinary Chinese feel. It's just that they can't say it out loud. On September 3rd in Beijing, just 3.3 kilometers from Tiananmen Square where the military parade was held, the National Petition Bureau was still packed with crowds. That same day and the next, there were at least 3 cases of petitioners being intercepted on the streets of Beijing, 2 of them involving police. On the international stage, Xi Jinping has also broken away from the foreign diplomacy of reform and opening up that began under Deng Xiaoping. Instead, he launched wolf warrior diplomacy, turning hostile towards the West, while trying to rally smaller and poorer countries, often in alliance with dictators. At this year's September 3rd parade in Beijing, Xi Jinping stood side by side with Russia's Vladimir Putin and North Korea's Kim Jong-un. Kim and Putin sat to his left and right. Outside observers called it a display of a new axis of evil, 3 dictators banding together in a unified front against the West. Commentator Cai Shen-kun shared 3 videos, saying it feels like another world. The first showed Chinese Premier Zhao Ziyang's week-long visit to the U.S. in 1984, where he was hosted by President Ronald Reagan. The second showed Hu Jintao posing with a group of Western leaders. The third was the image of Xi Jinping in Beijing, flanked by Putin and Kim Jong-un. People online commented, back then, the US, Europe, and the free world embraced China, hoping it would prosper and grow alongside with the rest of the world in peace. But the Chinese Communist Party wanted to play the role of a mafia boss. In truth, the CCP doesn't represent the Chinese people. It's just a small gang, a criminal organization hiding behind nationalism and false talk of peace. Every word is a lie. Its only goal is control. Others wrote, China's path is getting narrower and narrower, and it has fewer and fewer friends. Former Australian Home Affairs Minister Michael Pezzullo also weighed in, saying that Xi Jinping's China today bears chilling similarities to the rise of Nazi Germany in the 1930s. On September 5th, Pezzullo told Sky News that the Communist Party's parade was not about history at all. It was a display of power, meant to intimidate anyone who might stand in the way of Xi Jinping's great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. Pezzullo pointed out the eerie similarities between the CCP's parade footage and Nazi propaganda films from the 1930s. The goose-stepping marches, he said, first appeared in Germany 90 years ago and were immortalized in Leni Riefenstahl's Nazi film Triumph of the Will. Exiled Chinese liberal scholar Yuan Hongbing also weighed in. On September 4th, he warned that a super-fascist bloc is preparing to drag the world into a new global war. He argued the international community must think seriously about how to completely dismantle the CCP to prevent a third world war. According to Yuan, Xi Jinping's talk of national rejuvenation is nothing but a lie. In reality, it's a cover for expansionism and the revival of international communism. He stressed, the Communist Party does not represent the Chinese people. It's a foreign, Marxist-Leninist, colonial regime. For decades, it has ruled through lies and cultural destruction. In his words, the CCP is the largest group of traitors in Chinese history, and it has no right to speak for the Chinese nation. Yuan Hongbing warned that Xi Jinping's first step towards reviving international communism is conquering Taiwan. That's why it's so urgent for Beijing to take over Taiwan, and why the world should take this as a grave warning. Recently, a new statement from hawkish CCP scholar Jingzhou spread online. He declared that there's no suspense about it. China will take Taiwan by force in 2027. He said, I think the probability in 2027 is especially high, so everyone must prepare. In 2027, the earth will shake. Yuan called this an extraordinary signal. Jin, he said, is not just any regime propagandist. His remarks would only be allowed if approved by the party. This means Beijing absolutely sees Taiwan War as the key step in global communist expansion. Still, Yuan argued that Xi's position is now isolated and weakened. He is trying to use a Taiwan Strait war to resolve his own crisis of power. But Yuan predicted that the day Xi Jinping launches that war will be the day he and his communist dictatorship collapse. Meanwhile, China's economy continues to decline. Domestic and international pressures are mounting, and internal struggles at the top are fierce. Much of this remains hidden inside a political black box, leaving outsiders uncertain about what's really happening. One striking detail from the parade drew special attention. State TV showed Zhang Youxia, vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, seated in the same row as current top leaders, but placed behind retired leaders. For the past year, overseas reports have claimed Zhang had sole control of the military, and that his relationship with Xi had soured. This made his appearance at the parade a focal point of speculation. Zhang Youxia is a Politburo member and a vice chairman of the Central Military Commission, technically a vice national level official. By party rules, he would not normally be placed alongside retired leaders of national rank. But at this year's parade, Zhang stood right next to them. US-based scholar Wu Zhuolai noted that this shows Zhang has been given quasi-national status. His expression even showed a hint of satisfaction. Wu explained that this was the result of a year-long tug-of-war with Xi Jinping, and proof that Zhang did not lose it. The final outcome, Wu said, will only be revealed at the 21st Party Congress. For now, what we're seeing is the result of behind-the-scenes mediation and compromise among party elders. Another unusual detail was the choice of parade commander. On September 3rd, the role went to Lieutenant General Hang Shenyan, commander of the Air Force and in the Central Theater Command. Normally, the post is held by the overall commander of the Beijing military region, or since the military reforms, the commander of the Central Theater Command. That should have been General Wang Qiang. Commentator Tang Jingyuan explained, that Wang Qiang was a typical Xi Jinping loyalist. He was promoted suddenly before the 20th Party Congress and was the only officer raised to the rank of a full general at the time. Yet both Wang and his political commissar were absent from the Defense Ministry reception on Army Day, August 1st. Now, with Han Shengyan taking his place as parade commander, it strongly suggests that Wang may have been purged. The downgrade in commander rank also signals that the parade itself was held at a lower level of prestige than Xi might have wanted. Independent analyst Du Zheng wrote on August 23rd that since Xi Jinping took power, he has promoted 79 generals. Of these, 10 have already been officially dismissed or arrested. Another 16 are rumored to have fallen, bringing the total to 26, over one-third of all those promoted under Xi. The Communist Party likes to say that the party commands the gun, but Mao Zedong once made it clearer: power grows out of the barrel of a gun. Bloomberg noted that this is why the Central Military Commission is the key to holding power in China. Since Xi Jinping began his third term at the end of 2022, the commission has shrunk from 7 members to just 4. That's the highest vacancy rate since the Mao era. Bloomberg reported that this sweeping purge inside the military has raised doubts about China's readiness for war. It also leaves observers wondering, does this reflect Xi's strength or his weakness? James Char, a scholar at Singapore's Nanyang Technological University, said the continued purges show a deep instability at the top of the military, and that this will inevitably have negative consequences. On September 3rd, the CCP tried to use the massive military parade as a show of muscle to intimidate the world, but the markets weren't impressed. The moment the parade began, China's stock indexes started to plunge. By the close of trading, they were sharply down. Defense industry stocks were among the hardest hit. The next day, September 4th, all 3 major A-share indices fell again. Computing hardware, rare earths, and defense were among the leading losers. Meanwhile, voices of resistance have been rising. Just days before the parade, on the night of August 29th, massive anti-CCP slogans were projected on high-rise buildings in Chongqing's University District. The banners read things like, "Only without the Communist Party can there be a new China," "Freedom is not a gift, you must fight to take it back," and "Down with red fascism, overthrow communist tyranny." On August 31st, a giant poster appeared on a public bulletin in Beijing. It said, "General Secretary, step down." It listed 3 demands. The third said bluntly, "Based on the current reality, Xi Jinping is not suitable to serve as General Secretary, the party's top leader." The poster was signed "Old Worker" and dated August 13th, 2025, but it's unclear where exactly it was posted or whether Old Worker is an individual or a group. Commentator Zhuo Ran wrote on September 5th that the parade was nothing more than Xi Jinping's militaristic vanity show. Outside the spectacle, the real picture of China is one of economic stagnation and hardship. Hundreds of millions of ordinary Chinese are struggling under the weight of job insecurity and social welfare pressures. He stressed that since September 1st, the CCP has been forcing stricter collection of Social Security contributions. China is already a high-tax country. For businesses, this means more layoffs, pay cuts, or outright closures just to survive. He argued that Xi Jinping is obsessed with the empty slogan of national greatness. The parade was nothing but military bluffing towards the outside world, while the forced Social Security measures were a way to squeeze and exploit people at home. In history, 2 signs often mark the collapse of a dynasty: reckless militarism and heavy taxation. The CCP is walking both paths at once, meaning its downfall is only a matter of time. During the parade, the regime also cracked down on veterans to prevent unrest. The Cyberspace Administration announced a month-long campaign to clean up harmful online content. Some retired soldiers believe this was just a pretext to further suppress the rights movement. In recent years, tens of thousands of veterans have petitioned for proper resettlement and benefits, only to be met with harsh repression. Those who spoke out online have faced even tougher crackdowns. A video circulating in June showed special police questioning veterans inside the train station in Keqiang, Jiangsu. One veteran recorded the scene and shouted with bitter sarcasm,
I want to admit a mistake to my comrades. I was wrong to serve in the army. I wasted 15 years. I was wrong to join the party. I admit my mistake to the Xinjiang party leadership. I was wrong to serve in the army. I was wrong to join the party.
Another unpredictable factor is Xi Jinping's own health. He gave a speech before reviewing the troops at the parade. But commentator Tang Jingyuan has a medical background. He noted that compared to the 70th anniversary parade, Xi's physical and mental condition looked much worse this time. He said this time she looked extremely fatigued, even limping as he walked. While standing on the Tiananmen viewing platform, the muscles on the left side of his neck kept twitching uncontrollably, clear signs of a stroke after effect. Tang said when Xi was riding in the parade car, his eyes were barely open. His skin has also darkened. All of this points to serious health troubles. Some people overseas posted videos asking, "What's wrong with Xi Jinping?" Standing on Tiananmen watching the parade, his head kept shaking uncontrollably. Former Shanghai entrepreneur Liu Huren now lives in the US. He also shared a video. He said, "From the official footage, it's clear that Xi's health is in real trouble. His head showed constant pronounced tremors, classic symptoms of Parkinson's, as the condition seems so advanced that standard medication no longer controls it." Meanwhile, state broadcasters CCTV and CGTN shut down the comment section during their live stream. Many commentators believe the CCP might collapse sooner rather than later, much like the Soviet Union did. Even if Xi clings to power for now, his failing health is a looming crisis. Once Xi falls, there may be no one able to take over, leaving the Communist Party facing disintegration.